It is.
So we're going to do a deep dive on fishy today.
All right.
And I think it's really interesting how just one word
Right.
can sum up like this really complex feeling.
It is a single word that really sort of encapsulates a kind of a cluster of feelings.
Yeah.
Suspicion.
Yeah.
Doubt, mistrust.
Yeah.
Uncertainty.
Yeah. So basically, fishy means that something's suspicious, dubious,
No.
not quite like giving you those internal red flags.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah, and you don't want to, accuse anybody of anything.
Right.
But you just have that feeling
Yeah.
that maybe something's not right here.
It's not adding up.
It's not adding up.
So how would you say, like, when is fishy the right word to use?
Okay, well, so I would say fishy is that suspicion that you have.
Yeah.
And it's often when you think someone is not being transparent or honest with you.
Right.
So, for example, if you have a friend and they're always borrowing money from you, but they never seem to repay you,
Right.
you might say that, their behavior is a little fishy.
Okay. Yeah.
You're not calling them a thief.
Right. But you're raising doubts.
You're saying,
Yeah.
there's something not quite right here.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of fishy behavior, I always wonder this, like, how did fishy become associated with suspicion?
Right.
Like, did someone just really hate seafood or?
Well, that's one theory.
Okay.
But I think the most likely origin actually goes back to the smell of spoiled fish.
Oh.
That really pungent, unmistakable odor.
Yeah.
You can't miss it. And, centuries ago,
Right.
people depended on fresh fish for survival.
Of course.
And so recognizing a spoiled fish was really, really vital.
Right. So it makes sense that,
If you could smell that,
like a bad smell,
that bad smell meant that,
something's wrong.
something is wrong.
Take it away.
Exactly. And I think that association of a bad smell with a bad situation just kind of evolved over time.
Became more abstract.
Yeah, into this more abstract concept.
Right. So it's like, if we talk about like a shady deal,
Right.
we say it's stinky.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. So it's that same idea.
Yeah, it's connecting that sensory experience to a more abstract concept.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. So fishy is kind of like this linguistic time capsule. It's taking that like ancient survival instinct and bringing it into our modern vocabulary.
It does.
It's really cool. But there's also different ways that we can use fishy, right? It's not always just that one word.
Yeah, so you can use the word fishy just on its own,
Right.
just to express a general sense of suspicion.
Okay.
But you can also say, something smells fishy. And that just kind of intensifies it. Like you're really catching a whiff of something that's off.
Right. So that's more serious.
Yeah. And then there's fishy business,
Uh-huh.
which often means that, something is shady or
Okay.
even illegal.
Gotcha. So fishy is like a hunch. Something smells fishy is like
You're starting to get
getting serious.
Yeah.
And fishy business is like,
watch out.
yeah, like stay away.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more about idioms and how to use them correctly,
Yes.
I always recommend the Home Academe English podcast.
That's a great resource.
They have a lot of deep dives into these kinds of things.
They do.
And it can really help you sound like a native speaker.
Absolutely.
So let's put your fishy radar to the test.
Yeah, I like it. Okay.
Let's do it. So scenario number 1, you are at a flea market.
Okay.
You find a vintage item in like pristine condition,
All right.
but the price is ridiculously low.
Uh-oh.
What's setting off your alarms?
Well, as you said, vintage items, they usually show some wear and tear.
Yeah.
So if it's pristine and the price is too low,
Yeah.
that's a red flag for me.
Yeah, it's like finding a brand new antique.
Yeah.
It just doesn't add up.
It doesn't.
So what would you do in that situation?
Well, I would start asking questions.
Okay.
Like, where did you get this? How long have you had it?
Right.
And if they're vague or evasive, then that would definitely make it smell fishier.
Yeah. Okay, so scenario number 2. A friend comes to you with this like can't miss investment opportunity. Guaranteed high returns. What's the catch?
Well, guaranteed high returns.
Yeah.
That's a major red flag for me because legitimate investments always have
Some level of risk.
some risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no such thing as a guaranteed high return.
Right.
And especially if they're really pushy or dismissive of your concerns, then it's time to really step back and take a closer look.
Absolutely. So I would say in that situation, do your research.
Right.
Talk to a financial advisor.
Exactly.
Before you jump into something like that.
Very good advice.
Yeah. Okay, last scenario.
Okay.
You're at work. You ask a colleague about like a shared project, and they're acting really weird, like avoiding eye contact, mumbling, giving you really vague responses. What's fishy here?
Well, their body language and their lack of clarity is sending a message. You know something's not right.
Something's wrong.
Maybe they're behind schedule, or maybe they encountered a problem. Or, you know, made a mistake that they're trying to hide.
Yeah, so it's definitely fishy.
It is.
So what should you do?
Well, you should address it.
Okay.
Directly.
Right.
Ask specific questions about, you know, what's the status of the project.
Get to the bottom of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think it's also important to remember that, like, while we might use fishy in English to express suspicion, a lot of other languages might not have a direct equivalent.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So different cultures have different ways of, like,
expressing that.
Yeah, expressing suspicion.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to be mindful of that.
It is, particularly when you're communicating across cultures.
Right.
You know, you want to make sure that
don't offend anyone.
You're not causing any offense.
Right.
Or misunderstanding their intentions.
Right. Right. That makes a lot of sense. And, you know, that kind of makes me wonder, are there other idioms?
Oh, yeah.
That use sensory experiences?
Absolutely.
Like fishy.
Yeah.
And how do they reflect our way of understanding the world?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
To ponder.
Yeah. I think that's something for everyone to think about.
It is.
So I hope you all enjoyed this deep dive into fishy.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear more
deep dives,
please subscribe.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Here are 5 sample sentences with an idiom, fishy. Sample sentence number 1.
After hearing the salesperson's overly enthusiastic pitch about the unbeatable deal, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was fishy.
Sample sentence number 2.
When she suddenly stopped responding to my messages after our last conversation, it felt a bit fishy to me.
Sample sentence number 3.
The contract had too many vague clauses, and I thought it was fishy. I decided to consult a lawyer before signing.
Sample sentence number 4.
He claimed he was working late, but the timing didn't add up, and I found it fishy.
Sample sentence number 5.
The online ad promised big earnings for little effort, which sounded fishy right from the start.